There is no law in our country which is going to determine or shape your thinking. When you commit a crime physically, if it is lodged in the court, they will come out with a judgment punishing the criminal. But if you speak a lie, who will know about it? So dharma, its domain is entirely different. It is primarily preventive and safeguarding people, by making them aware of. That is why dharma itself as a concept, as a finding, so much definition and deliberation have gone into it. Is there any power or a source by virtue of which we can live successfully in this world? What is that which will give us the power of assimilation, the power of versatility, the power of resilience, the power of flexibility? How to cultivate this? Our legal enactments give no tuition at all. They only say this should not be done. If you do it, so many months of rigorous imprisonment or other imprisonment and fine. That's all what they say. But our dharma is not meant for that. We want to prevent, avoid, forestall and safeguard all our crimes. This is what we want. In that evident level, what is dharma? I told you about the conceptual aspect of dharma. Now I am taking up the functional aspect. Our dharma siddhantas can be quite large in number, very complex. Because the world is complex, our dharma also will become complex. But we can summarize it. Our people were wise enough. Ahimsa satyamasteyam shaujam indriya nigraha etat samasigam dharmam chadurvarne abravin manuhu. The Dharma Shastras and the Puranas may be numerous, prolific. Don't worry about it. For all people in this world, born as human beings, there are 5 principles or values or dicta you have to abide by. One is ahimsa, non-hurtingness. Himsa does not mean killing. You cannot hurt others. You can hurt them in how many ways? Physically, by using your hands and other factors. Then by word of mouth, don't hurt. Even your married partner, you have no right to hurt. If the person is hurt beyond a measure, he or she will say, I go my way. Nobody is going to excuse you if you behave in an unparliamentary manner. I always say between the couple, always, every excess is excused and every shortage is condoned. But the fact remains, you cannot hurt another person beyond a certain measure. So let us understand very clearly that himsatmaka tendency is always bad. Look into your mind and find out whether I have got a hurting tendency. There are some people who will always speak insinuatingly. That is very bad. You speak in an open manner, in a sincere manner. I like this or I do not like this. I dislike this, but I don't dislike you, my dear partner. I only dislike this act. That you can say. We have no right to blame anybody at all. We are all part and parcel of nature. Nature is extremely complex. For your body you are not responsible. For your mind also. For your intelligence also. But if a faulty mind or an unrighteous mind continues in you, then you are responsible. To begin with, you are not responsible. So ahimsa. Another is satyam, truthfulness. Truthfulness. The truthfulness can never be replaced by anything else. That is why we chose the motto, Satyameva Jayate. You know, at that time, so many people with a lot of cultural patriotism, austere patriotism, etc., they were leading the country. So they were very grateful for the culture of the land. So they selected a very good motto and very good national flag also. So Satyameva Jayate, that's Satya. When people say, they tell me, quite a number of children, Swamiji, you say Satya, Satya. But the people who speak lies are successful in this world. So I am asking them, I get really irritated, so to say. I am presenting to you, not that I am irritated. I tell them, what do you mean by that? Without truth, can we exist even for a moment? When I ask you, what is your name? Please tell me how many answers you have. Huh? What is your age? Who is your father? Who is your mother? How many answers do you have? Huh? Have you had your food or not? How many answers do you have? In the railway station and in other places, you go there. give a 1,000 rupee note. You ask for a ticket, 550 rupees. Maybe you have given a 500 note and 500 rupee notes. You are on this side and the booking clerk is on the other side. He receives the money, gives you a ticket and gives you back 450 rupees. He never says, you have not given me 1,000. You also don't say, I have not got the balance. You also have got a ticket which is meant for travel after a month. And when you go there with the ticket, in the train there is a seat reserved for you. Tell me whether it is truthfulness or untruthfulness. Huh? What about so many buses plying in Delhi? There is a board, it goes here, it goes there. It takes you there. So apart from truthfulness, can you ever live in this world? The earth is taking the same time for its revolution and circumambulation around the sun. Our heart is unfailingly beating. The lungs also are bellowing. So I find only the pulsation and the radiation of truthfulness in this world. All illegally got money. Poor people cannot sleep. That is why they go and drop it there. The temple must allow it. After all, they are human beings. So the wonderful God, He feels okay. Let them drop and feel comfortable. See, the ordinary people will not drop so much. Everywhere. What kind of a success? Sleepless success. What is it that you are saying? Success, success, success. Asteyam, the third one, non-stealing. Never take the property belonging to another without his consent and without telling him. So this steya, stealing, it can be in various degrees. Even by officers and even managing directors it can be there. You know, there are some steya what is it that our government is doing now? What do you mean by scam, etc.? Huh? The Comptroller and Auditor General says that 10.67 lakhs of crores of rupees for not having auctioned the coal field. It has been taken away by somewhere. A lot of money belonging to India is outside. They are afraid to keep it here and our government is afraid to bring it back. Dekh lijiye na. Huh? They are afraid to keep it here. Our government is afraid to. Both parties are afraid. This is called untruthfulness. This is called steya. So, ahimsa, satyam, asteyam, shaucham, cleanliness, hygiene. Cleanliness, hygiene. What is meant by hygiene? Physically, keep all your body clean, private parts, etc. Wear clean dress. And similarly, go inside, keep your mind, intelligence, heart, everything clean. Shaucham. Indriya nigraha. That is the most important. Have a control and moderation over your senses. These senses are the ones which interact with the world. The mind does not directly interact with the world. Only through the senses interaction takes place. In the interactional level, understand that you are the subject interacting and the world is interacted with. Am I clear or not? Huh? My eyes may see, my ears may hear, my tongue may taste, my nose may smell. All these are different actions. In all these actions, different objects are interacted with. But the interacting subject, namely me, the individual, I remain the same. So the control and moderation are necessary in the sensory level. Indriya nigraha. A Raja should have sensory control. Our present Rajas are ministers, prime ministers, etc., president, etc. They must have sensory control. If they don't have sensory control, so many scams will take place here again. That senses, what is it that you want to enjoy? You want to see luxury. You want to hear luxury. You want to sense luxury. That's it. So the sensory nigraha is very, very important. Etam samasigam dharmam. This is the very common and general dharmic functional pursuit, dharmic codes for all people in this world. And Manu has prescribed it. Chadurvarne abraveen Manu. Whenever I speak of ahimsa, I don't know whether you are imaginative enough to think about it. Ahimsa paramo dharmaha. Dharmahimsa tathaivacha. Many people would not have heard it. Ahimsa is considered to be, we generally say non-violence. It is considered to be the best of dharma. For us, satyan nasti paro dharmaha. There is no dharma superior to truthfulness and truth. And what is this truth? When you go nearer and nearer, you will find you have greater understanding about it, which I don't explain now. So, ahimsa paramo dharmo, dharma himsa tathaiva cha. What is meant by dharma himsa? If you go through the Indian Penal Code and the Criminal Procedure Code, you will find whenever somebody attacks you, physically assaults you, in your own defense, you can kill the person. Am I right? Huh? In self-defense, you can even murder the other man. That is why dharma himsa. Some people are executed. Enemies are attacking you. What do? You face them. The enemy camp is ambushed by our military defense people. And when you ambush them, fire, they will counter fire. In any such incident, you will find many of the army personnel, they will die. Others also will die. So, dharma himsa tathaiva cha. As long as the other person is benevolent, he does not hurt you, you can keep quiet. Suppose he is out to hurt you, our dharma shastras give you the freedom, not only the exhortation to look after yourself. The ultimate canon of dharma, when I say this, you may be surprised. In the individual level, in the family level, in the society level, in the national and global level, this is the last point of dharma. Atmanam satatam raksha. What? Atmanam satatam raksha. Preserve yourself. Preserve yourself. Shall I give you an instance? Huh? Would you like to hear? There was a professor in the Delhi University. We were taken there by Silva Roy. When explaining his history, she was telling me that there were altogether 4 brothers. They went for a camp and they were halting near the Quicksand River. Somehow it so happened that one of the brothers went there and he was going down in the quicksand. Seeing it, another brother rushed. He also went down. Seeing the second brother also go down, the third brother also rushed. He also went down. Then this professor, who was the 4th brother surviving, he also wanted to rush. Others kept him back. Tell me, what is dharma here? Do you mean to say the 4th also should go? And then 5th, one of the onlookers, 6th, 7th, and the whole of Delhi? What is it that is required? Atmanam satatam raksha. When it comes to a question of protecting yourself, your family, etc., your nation, etc., nation is our own national body. Family is our familial body. The individual body is our individual body, that's all. So, Atmanam satatam raksha. This is something very, very important. So, all our dharmas are revolving. Will you call it selfishness? I don't know. It requires introspection. Suddenly you cannot dispose it off. So, that is the pinnacle or the foundational point of dharma. And the whole dharma can be simplified. Shruyatam dharma sarvaswam shrutva chaiva avadharyadam atmanah pratigulani paresham na samacharet. Our dharma shastras are prolific. So you cannot read and exhaust them. So here is a simple formula. Listen to the whole of Shruyadam dharma sarvaswam. All the dissertation on dharma, listen to. Shrutva jaiva abadharyadam. After listening to, grasp it, preserve it, cherish it, keep it in your memory and be guided and inspired by it. What is that? Atmanah pratigulani paresham na samajare. Whatever you consider harmful, hurting or detrimental to yourself, don't inflict it on another. The ultimate check is not God. It is oneself. Would you like your property or goods or money to be stolen by another? You will like. Then don't steal. If you are rebuked, will you like? So don't rebuke others. If somebody imputes motive when it is not there in you, you will not like. Don't impute motives to the others. First of all, pinch and see whether you like it. Don't pinch others. This is all the Dharma Shastra. Atmanah pratigulani paresham na samacharet. Now, all these are dharmic thoughts. These are not generally known to people, nor is it possible also. So, what we have is something current in the form of tradition and practice. Now, in the tradition, there are 2 aspects. Understand it very well. Yaman seveta satatam na niyaman kevalanapi yaman padatya gurvano niyaman kevalan bhajan. We generally have acharas. Achara means what? Common and traditional practice. There is something called vichara. That means submitting whatever you do or what you propose to do to introspection and arriving at a rational analysis and assessment. So the vichara process is done by the intelligence and the mind. The achara is invariably done by the body and its limbs. So we generally have acharas. That alone we can have. Suppose you have to tell something in the way of dharma to the children. You cannot engage him in a conversation. So you have to tell, my dear boy, get up early in the morning, put a tilak, have your bath, put a tilak, come along with me, go to the temple, or you prostrate looking at the sun. Some kind of an achara you have to institute in him. That is accepted, very good traditional, benign, benevolent practices, which are good for you. Achara prabhavo dharmaha. All our dharmas generally emerge from good acharas. A man with good practice, good custom, good habits, etc. They alone will be dependable people. So achara is there, but vichara is not there. While it is nice and necessary to grow with the achara, the moment you become an adult, you must think about what you do. Think about what you do. And then replace it by introspection. Many of the acharas you can outlive and take to introspection and let the whole pursuit be focused on your mind and intelligence. What Manu says is that Yaman seveta satatam na niyaman kevalanabi. Do not simply follow bundles of practices, formalities. Practice the better disciplines and refinements pertaining to your sensory organs, then the mind and the intelligence. Yaman padatya gurvano. If these inner disciplines and refinement are neglected, niyaman kevalan bhajan. If you are given only to bundles of practices and habits, you will certainly fall and degenerate. Am I clear? So acharas are necessary. They will continue to be, they should be. But the acharas will have to be authentic. They will have to be sublime. They have to be verified, repeatedly thought. It is quite possible that so many corruptional practices will come. When India became independent, did not all the people then think, I was alive when we were independent, that after independence is established, our country will become gold and platinum. This is what we all thought. Now what have we become now after independence? You tell me. When money grows, when money multiplies, men decay. This is what is happening. So the acharas should not be left to themselves. Try to become vicharavans. When you start thinking about it, that is the time you begin to evolve. Any extent of physical practice will not make man evolve at all. Evolution starts when you begin to think, evaluate, understand, inquire into, investigate, evaluate, assess. Until then, no evolution at all. No evolution at all, as long as you are only following practices. When you start inquiring into this manner, there are two levels of inquiry. Athato dharma jijnasa. This is one stage. See, people speak about dharma, truthfulness and the like. What is this truthfulness? What is the wrong if we become untruthful? What is the real worth of truthfulness? You can inquire about any point what you want. So this dharma jijnasa. Jijnasa means jnatum ichha. The desire, the aspiration to know is called jijnasa. Then with dharma jijnasa, you continue to inquire. This is one stage.